Phrase is a part of sentences that does not have a subject and predicate. It is a group of related words that functions as a noun, adjective, or as an adverb. Although phrases are part of a sentence, they do not possess a subject and a predicate, and a thought. There are two parts of phrases. First is prepositional phrase, a phrase made up of preposition and an object. Second is a verbal phrase, a phrase made up of verbal and a phrase complement.
The lesson that I have learned in English 11 is all about voices of verbs. There are two kinds of voices of verbs, and these are active voice and passive voice. Active voice denotes a subject that is a doer of the action. Passive voice denotes a subject that is a receiver of the action. The verb is written with helping verb plus past participle. Example of passive voice is Joe has been thinking of the solution for 10 minutes. Example of passive voice, the solution have been taught by Joe.
The lesson that I have learned in English 11 is all about voices of verbs. Active voice denotes the subject that is the doer of the action. For example, the student submitted the requirements for the graduation. Passive voice denotes a subject that is the receiver of the action. For example, the requirements for graduation.
Interjection. Interjection is one of the parts of speech. An interjection is a word added to a sentence to convey strong emotion. It is not grammatically related to any other part of the sentence. Note, an exclamation mark follows an interjection. For example, ouch, that hurt. Oh no, I forgot that the exam was today. Hey, put that down, and alas, you are here. Phrases is a part of a sentence that does not contain a subject and a predicate. There are two types of phrase. One is the prepositional phrase. It is made up of a preposition and an object. It functions as an adjective or adverb in the statement. For example, we arrived for the show. For the show is the prepositional phrase. Another is the verbal phrase. It is made up of verbal and a phrase complement. For example, to pass physics, Venus must strive harder. To pass physics is the verbal phrase.
Phrases. Part of sentence does not have a subject and a predicate. There are two types of phrases. One is the prepositional phrase and the second one is the verbal phrase. Prepositional phrase consists of preposition plus a determiner plus object. And verbal phrase consists of verbal plus phrases. There are two types of prepositional phrase. The adjectival phrase and the adverbial phrase. And there are also three types of phrases. Verbal phrase, the gerundial phrase, infinitive phrase.
The lesson that I have learned in English 11 is all about the verbal phrase. Verbal phrase consists of a verbal stem from verbs they take on all. There are three types of verbal phrase. One of these is the gerundial phrase. For example, smoking in public place is prohibited. Smoking in public places is a gerundial phrase. Is prohibited is the object of the sentence. That's all. Thank you.
The lesson that I've learned in English 11 is all about phrases. A phrase is a part of sentence that does not contain a subject and predicate. It's a group of related words that functions a noun, adjective, or as an pronoun. Although phrases are part of sentence, they do not possess a subject, a predicate, and a thought. For example, across the east side, loving Filipiniana, a well-known fashion icon, to fit the theme of the program. Thank you.
11, I learned about voices. It's a part of sentence, possesses a subject and predicate, and words acting like subject, object, complement, or modifier. There are two kinds of clauses. One is independent clause, the main clause, and express a completed example. I can change the verb. Other one is dependent clause. It's subordinating clause. Cannot express a complete thought and does not stand alone as subject. A sentence, it includes subordination.
Conjunction connect words, phrases, and clauses. Classifications of conjunction. Coordinate conjunction connect words, phrases, and clauses that are grammatically equal. Correlative conjunction are pairs of conjunction used to join grammatically equal elements in a sentence. Subordinating conjunction joins two complete ideas by making one of the ideas subordinate to the other. Conjunctive conjunctions are conjunctive adverbs. They are special kinds of coordinating conjunction join two independent clauses. The lesson that I've learned in English 11 is interjection. Interjection is one of the part of speech. Interjection was added in a sentence to convey a strong emotion. Take note, an interjection word is followed by exclamatory mark. Example of a word that is interjection is ouch, yippee, yehey. An interjection is to convey a strong emotion. Example,
Phrases. The phrase is a part of sentence that does not have a subject and a predicate. It is a group of related words that functions as a noun, adjective, or as an adverb. Although phrases are part of a sentence, they do not possess as a subject and a predicate and a thought. There are two types of phrases. First is a prepositional phrase, a phrase made up of preposition and an object. Second is a verbal phrase, a phrase made up of verbal and a phrase complement.
The lesson that I have learned in English 11 is the nouns. Nouns is the names of a person, objects, and things, and many more. Nouns have four types of gender: the masculine, feminine, neuter, and common. Masculine denotes a male noun like prize, hero, and uncle. Feminine denotes a female noun like nun, heroine, and aunt. Neuter denotes an object without sex: book, table, and computer. Common denotes either male or female.
Well, if you ask me what I've learned from our lesson in English 11, what I've learned is adjective. Adjective is a word that describes a noun or pronoun. For example, Anna is very beautiful. This is an example of adjective. In that sentence, the noun is Anna. It's describing that Anna is very beautiful. That's the simple way on.
The lesson that I've learned in English 11 is all about clauses. A clause is the part of sentence that possess a subject and a predicate. It's a group of related words acting as subject, object, complement, or modifier. It have two kinds of clause. The dependent clause that express a complete thought, and the second is independent clause or subordinating clause that does not express a complete thought.
Nouns. Derived from Latin word nomen, which means name. Nouns are names of persons, place, things, animals, and many more. There are four gender of nouns. We have masculine noun, it denotes male noun. Example, hero. We have feminine noun, it denotes female noun. Example, sister. We have neuter, it denotes whether, subject. Example, tables and chairs. We have common noun, whether male or a female. Example, professor, doctor. Thank you.
The lesson that I've learned in English 11 is all about clauses. A clause is a part of a sentence that possesses a subject and a predicate. It is a group of related words acting as subject, object, complement, or modifier. Clauses are made through conjunctions. Coordinating makes IT, subordinating makes DC. There are two kinds of clauses. The one is the independent clause that expresses a complete thought, and the second clauses are dependent clause that does not express a complete.
Noun is a word that names person, place, things, events, and idea. There are 5 classifications of nouns. First is proper noun. It indicates particular name. Example is Edna and Baguio. Second is common noun. It does not refer particular name. Example is woman and boy. Third is abstract noun. It indicates mental or spiritual concept, idea, and feeling. Example is love. Fourth is collective noun. It names a group. Example is army and.
The lesson that I've learned in English 11 is all about verbs. There are 6 forms of verbs: the infinitive form, simple present, simple past, past participle, present participle, and the progressive form. And there are 2 voices of verbs: the active voice and the passive voice. The active voice is the doer of the action, and the passive voice is the receiver of the action.
Learning English 11 is all about nouns. Noun is the name of person, things, places, qualities, and ideas. All we can see in our environment is sample of nouns. Like for example, chair, ID, cell phone, computer, whiteboard, TV, helmet, motors, beaches, bag.
The lesson that I've learned in English 11 is all about the independent clause, which means a clause that expresses a complete thought and it can stand alone correctly as a simple sentence. For example, Badyaws have been nomads since the Spaniard came. The independent clause in the example is Badyaws have been nomads because we didn't have a conjunction before a subject. We can recognize an independent clause when a sentence have a subordinate conjunction before the subject and a coordinating conjunction before the subject.
The lessons that I've learned in English 11 is all about prepositions. Prepositions, the only part of speech that do not have meaning. It needs determiners and objects after it. There are two structures of prepositions, the simple preposition and common preposition. Example, they live across the riverside. Across is the preposition and that is the determiner. That's all.
I have learned about the proper use of the prepositions at, on, and in. At is used to tell something about an exact information of a certain thing. Just like, for example, Isabela State University, Kawayan Campus, Kawayan City, Isabela. On is used to describe future state, and in is used to describe past state and large places. Just like, for example, in Balanan. That's all. Voices of verbs are aspects that whether the subject is the doer or the receiver of the action. When the subject is the doer of the action, we call it as active voice. For example, he passed the test. He did the action which was passing the test. And when the subject receives the action, we call it as passive